there, good morning. We're the Highwaymen and my name's Jason.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. My name is Steve, and a bit of a drizzly day, but it doesn't matter, does it, Jay? Because the sun is always shining with us. That's what we say.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely.
My darling, go. Sorry.
I've got my light on, so a bit of extra sun. Look, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, so I bring the sunshine myself. Does make a difference. Yeah, it makes me look 10 years younger. Tell me that.
Put me down for 20 of them if you don't mind. All
good man, I will.
Okay, hot topic, Jay. Hot topic, fresh off of the social media press. What, mate, are we looking at today?
Okay, we're talking about the huge controversy surrounding Budweiser beer at the moment. And for those of you who don't know about it, because Steve didn't know about it until I spoke to him about it told him earlier on the week, I've got to give you a bit of go back a little bit. So Budweiser, their vice president of marketing was told the demographic of Budweiser drinkers is getting older and we're losing market share. So we're losing sales. We need something fresh and new to bring in the young people to start drinking Budweiser. So she racked her brains. And I don't know if you've seen this person or if you've followed our channel before, you might have seen the video on it. Dylan Mulvaney is a trans social media personality who started with his days of girlhood. And, day one of being a girl, day two of being a girl, and so on and so forth.
Day 234, and it's my first Halloween as a girl. Costume reveal in 3, 2, 1. Somewhere over the rainbow. I'm Dorothy. I went with Dorothy.
Kind of theatrical, very funny, actually. Very funny to watch his videos. He does this kind of almost parody of being a girl. Some people have been quite offended by that. But anyway, got a huge social media gathering, met the President Biden last year, and they decided that they would they would sponsor him for Budweiser beers. And on day 365 of him being a girl, they presented him with the Dylan Mulvaney can of Budweiser Light, which actually has got his picture on the side of it.
I got some Bud Lights for us. So, I kept hearing about this thing called March Madness, and I thought we were all just having a hectic month, but it turns out it has something to do with sports. And I'm not sure exactly which sport, but either way, it's a cause to celebrate. This month, I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it.
Well, America hasn't liked it very much at all. It started with Kid Rock, who decided to take a machine gun to his supply of Budweiser.
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today. Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible. Fuck Bud Light and fuck Anheuser-Busch. Have a terrific day.
And it's kind of quickly followed suit with lots of people throwing their Budweiser down the sink, refusing to buy it. The shelves are actually full of Budweiser still being rapidly reduced because they can't sell it. The share prices of, I think it's Anheuser-Busch, I think that's the holding company, have gone down by a couple of billion because literally it's caused an absolute chaos within Budweiser. What do you think, Steve? Tell us what you know.
Well, I think it's I was going to say a storm in a teacup, but it's more of a storm in a beer mug, isn't it, really? So for a start off, just to clarify, incidentally, the can with his, her, they, them face on it was only the one. There was only one made for them.
Okay.
Yeah. It didn't go out on the shelves for everybody to not buy it.
Okay.
It was a personal gift to Delaney, just to say thank you for doing it. So it's important to just clear that one up, I think. Now, this to me is not about the beer. It's an excuse for people to kick off about something that's been rumbling away under the surface for an awfully long time. In our previous videos, we've talked quite in depth, Jay, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Yeah.
About this and how, at the risk of offending somebody you and somebody else, and what are you supposed to say these days? What's right? What's wrong? So to me, you know, this could have been pencil sharpeners that were sold, and it just so happens it's the right time to trigger people's, not everybody's, but the majority of people's feelings about it, and how they're probably getting a little bit sick of having all this stuff rammed down their throat. You know, you can't say this, you can't say that. These guys have got precedence over you. They're going to take first bite of the cherry because, you know, that's how it is, and all sort of stuff. That's how I'm seeing it. I really am. Yesterday, the CEO, and I genuinely cannot remember their name, of the Budweiser parent company, made a statement which really didn't say anything. It's the first time they've actually said anything since this has all come out. And it was basically just saying, look, we're sorry, we didn't mean to divide people, we didn't mean to split people. They've not said they're pulling it. They've not said that they're going to no longer sponsor Hey Din Dad.
They can't.
It's just, you know, it is what it is. So to me, I love Budweiser, if I'm honest with you. And my fridge is still full of Budweiser. I wouldn't dream of pouring it down the sink or taking a gun to it. So it just shows you the high emotional backlash that's coming out from this. And America does tend to lead the way with this type of thing, if I'm brutally honest.
Well, I think American men, a lot of American men, I mean, they're kind of, I think homophobic is probably not quite the right word, but they're very much like, you know, we're proper blokes, you know, we like hunting, we like football, we like baseball, we like man things, and this is what men do and all the rest of it. And I kind of feel like, you know, they see the trans thing going on, and it's kind of like, you know, raised eyebrow, don't really, you know, you stay in your lane, I'll stay in my lane, and we're absolutely fine. But then all of a sudden, you know, and you know, drinking beer is a manly thing. You know, I would say that Dylan Mulvaney and his ilk are probably more likely to be on the porn star martinis, you know, rather than the Budweiser. And I kind of think, like, it's almost like, you know, you're getting into women's, you know, men are getting into women's sports now. You've got this whole thing about drag shows in front of kids in America. And like you say, it's kind of an overspinning. And now you're coming into our beer, and this is just too much now. This is just too much, and we are not taking it anymore. You know, you can have your drag shows and all the rest of it, but if you start getting into beer, no, we're not having it. You know, and I kind of think that's kind of the way that a lot of American men think. I don't know if you've ever seen the not Borat, Bruno film when they did the cage fighting. Did you ever see that at the end?
Don't think so.
Well, Bruno is Sacha Baron Cohen's.
Sacha Cohen. Yeah.
You know, he's Borat. He's got Bruno. So Bruno's is like this camp model from Eastern Europe or wherever, and he's trying to be straight. You know, and he goes to all these straight. And then, and in the end, there's this cage fight, and they actually arrange this proper cage fight. And he comes into the stage, into the middle, and saying, "Yeah, I'm straight, Dave. I'm really straight." And all these people are cheering. We don't like homosexuals because we're straight, and everyone's cheering. And it works out the premise of the film that he's had a secret crush on his manager, and they get in the cage and they start kissing and taking each other's clothes off and stuff like that. And this place is erupting. I mean, if you watch it, you kind of think, how the hell is that bloke getting out of there alive?
What's up, Arkansas? How's everybody doing? You guys ready to see a little ass kicking tonight? Give it up for Straight Dave! Straight Dave! Straight Dave!
Are you ready for some man slamming action? Who's ready for an old-fashioned hetero fest? 100% hetero like me. Who out there is proud to be straight? Let me hear you say straight pride. The first thing I did was brick up the back door. You know? You're a faggot! Who called me a faggot? Whoever called me a faggot, come up here and I'll beat your ass. It's me to beat this.
He is not getting out of there. I mean, it's a proper cage with a roof on, so no one can get to him because they're throwing their beer at him and everything. Because these are like proper blokes, and it's quite funny. I kind of think over here we're a bit. I think we're a bit more open-minded because we've always been brought up. Like in our 70s comedy, there was a lot of like men dressing up as women in humour, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was Dick Emery and
Dick Emery and Les Dawson and all those, and even things like pantomime. So a British culture, at Christmas you go and take your kids to see pantomime, and it's kind of interactive theatre, and they have like Cinderella, and the wicked stepmother and the ugly sisters will be played by men because let's face it, you're not going to get an uglier sister than a bloke with a beard playing an ugly. We could do it one year. And so we're kind of a little bit more used to sort of that kind of thing. So I think we're a bit more tolerant of it. Whereas I think with America, it is a little bit more like we're blokes and we like men things,
Yeah, you're spot on.
And I think you're right. I think with all the trans women now getting into athletics and woman of the year, and you can't say this and you can't say that, and all these kids coming out as non-binary, which people of our generation just don't get. Myself included, and we've talked about it before. And I think, like you say, this is just the wrong thing at the wrong time, and people have gone. And certainly, actually, going on from that is Dylan Mulvaney's also got a sponsorship deal with Nike, selling Wonder Bras, the sports bras, and women are not liking that. In fact, Sharon Davis has been on television saying, how can a bloke be selling women's bras? I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So for all the words, for all the little pigeonholes and slots that people tend to love to create to put everybody in, the bottom line is you can talk about this as much, you can invent as many as you like, but when it comes down to the crux of it, there is males and there's females, and that's the bottom line of it. From that point on, you can choose to be whatever you want to do. I completely get that. And don't get me wrong, both Jay and I, we have no feelings either way. You do you. Go and do you.
I think most people do. I think most people think that. Most people think that. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, don't go jamming it down everybody's throat. That's not what it's about.
But I think this is going to be I actually think this might be a bit of a turning point because everybody kind of, for companies that, I mean, if you watch IKEA ads and stuff, you'll see like it used to be the fact you see the man and the woman and the children go shopping on the IKEA advert, whereas now you might see two men shopping together or two women shopping together, and they've tried to change the dynamic to make it more inclusive, and for the most part people just haven't really noticed it because it's we accept that's how life is now. But I think companies now will start to be a little bit more selective in what they do because they're going to think, we don't want to upset our demographic. We're going to have to really think this through before we do it because nobody wants to see those sort of losses on their books.
Jay, something's just come into my head. Do you remember this was in the 1970s? It would have been. And we're talking about the era where there was a very famous poster of a girl with a tennis racket, and she was lifting
your bum cheek. Yes,
right. At that time, there was motorcycle magazines. Were a big thing in the 70s. Motorcycles were big, and there was an advert for leathers, and I can't remember who the leather. It was really annoying. Anyway, all the blokes loved it because they were very risque. The adverts then for the motorcycles would be a woman half dressed.
You always get that. There,
Well, there was one for these leathers, and I'm fairly sure that either she had a jacket on and it was wide open, or it was just painted on to look like leathers. Yes. I'm sure. Anyway, it all transpired that she was a bloke.
Really?
Back in the 70s, yeah. And the controversy, Tanya or something like that.
Wasn't Tula, was it? Tula, the James Bond girl.
That could well have been.
She was a Bond girl. She was actually a Bond girl, but she was a boy.
Right. That is it. Tula. And it was a huge thing. When it came to light, everybody was like up in arms about it. And it was like, oh my God, you know.
Well, I think the reason that people get up in arms at it is because they probably looked at her and quite fancied her, and then realise it's a man, and probably a little bit embarrassed because they think, well, it's actually technically a man, and that's the issue. The issue isn't the fact that they did that; is the fact they actually thought that they.
I think you're right.
Did you ever see the program Something About Miriam?
No.
Okay, so they do this, like, obviously you go these reality programs, the dating programs. So there is one called Something About Miriam, and there was like 10 or 12 blokes, and there's this lady Miriam, and they all were trying to. She had to choose one of them at the end of it, so they're all going on dates. Each one takes a turn, and the rest. And Miriam was a bloke.
I'm not a woman. I was born as a man.
Miriam was a bloke in the end, yeah, and they didn't tell her until the actual. Well, you've won, but actually, there's something about Miriam. What is it? Yeah, she's got a penis, and I mean, talk about feeling stupid and embarrassed.
She was telly for you, mate. That's entertainment.
However, she was pretty hot. She was. I think actually, I read somewhere that she killed herself in the end, but she was not at the end of the program, but but somewhere down the line. But yeah, she was
okay, Jay, listen, $1 million question. I'm going to ask you this. So imagine you're not married and all the other bits. Anyway, you've met this girl in a bar and she's beautiful and all the other bits. So you've had a few beers and everything's going good, and you've not had sex for a couple of weeks. Anyway, so she takes you back to her place and you're getting right down to her and it's so good, and you find out she's got meat and 2 veg.
Yeah, no.
What would you do in front of the nation? What would you do?
It's not happening. It's not happening.
It's not happening. That's it.
No. What about you? You just took it to the side and go for it.
I don't like to say no. I'd walk away. But at what point does your body take over? And when I say your body, your old man.
Yeah, I think my old man wouldn't go in the right direction. I think I'd take one look and say no. I'd probably laugh. I mean, I don't think I'd be offended. I think I'd find it quite funny, and then I'd have like 100 million questions. But that's my analysing mind. But there's no way you can scoop that to the side and forget about it.
Well, you couldn't, could you? That's the bottom line.
It's just not happening.
We'll pretend that's not there. Yeah.
However, there is another question for you. Right? Have you ever heard of a porn star called Book Angel?
No.
So Book Angel is a female porn star, but is trans, so looks completely like a bloke.
Okay.
So
she's still got tits and stuff.
No, muscular, beard, balding, no breasts because they've been chopped. Still got the downstairs bit. Now that's technically a woman.
Could
you? You couldn't.
No.
I think that would actually be worse than the other way around.
Yeah, I think it would.
At least you with the other way around, you can kind of visualize the woman. You know what I mean? You can probably see to some degree a beautiful woman, because it's like Thailand, like the lady boys and stuff. They always say the best looking women in Thailand are men.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got a story. I've got a story about that. And funny enough, I was talking to somebody about this last night. Somebody I know was in Thailand walking down the street with a girl, and suddenly he's walking down the street and suddenly somebody shouts across the street to him, "It's a bloke! It's a bloke!" And he was walking with a bloke, thought it was a girl. However, having watched these things on television about ladyboys in Thailand, he must have known she was a bloke, because they have ladyboy bars. There's no.
Oh, okay.
There's no point taking somebody home thinking the one thing and finding out they are another at the last minute, because what's the point?
Right.
They're not going to earn any money they're not going to waste the time trying to earn money that way, are they? Trying to dupe somebody. So so in my mind, he absolutely knew. Absolutely.
And he carried on.
And once it was pointed out to him, he said he abandoned ship, but he was with another fella, and I wonder whether I don't know. Anyway, we're going right off the subject now. Right off subject. So yes, I think the corporate world is gonna really start to take a bit more stock of what they're doing. You know, they're trying to jump on the woke bandwagon just to kind of get ratings. And going back to Budweiser, you know, they almost can't reverse this decision based on the demographic of their customers, because then they look transphobic. So it's actually worse than not doing it. So actually, I think they're going to have to wait it out and just hope it blows over and people start drinking it again.
Blows over. I like what you did there.
So yes, so it's going to blow over and everyone's going to be drinking Budweiser again. But no, I think, you know, once the horse is bolted, as it were, and it's whether these new young people want to take on drinking Bud, because they say it's an older demographic. I imagine it's going to be like the over 40s that's drinking Budweiser. It's kind of our generation, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I'd have thought so.
So yeah, so Budweiser's learnt a very hard lesson.
There we are. But go
on.
I was going to say the old adage, Jay. No publicity is bad publicity. It might have to hang on for a few weeks, but it'll come good. It'll come good.
Yeah, maybe right. And maybe they will attract the young people. And the trans people and the drag queens will all start drinking Budweiser.
Do you know what? Let's spin this on its head. This could have been done to provoke a huge reaction, to get all the young people talking about it. It's out there. The name's out there.
Yeah,
so before today, when's the last time you thought about? I must admit, it's my go-to beer, or a Peroni. It's either.
I've never had one. I've never had a Budweiser. No.
Why?
I'm not really a beer drinker. I only like Desperados. It's the only beer I drink.
Yeah, I was going to say you drink that stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
Try one. Try one for the sake of finding out what it's all about.
But the problem is what if I have one and I suddenly want to start painting my nails all glittery colours?
It's a risk you might have to take.
It could happen. You might see me if I go and try one, and next week I'm wearing a dress and a pink wig. You'll know that you've had a bud.
Well, you can blame it, bud.
It's rubbing off. It's rubbing off. The bud's rubbing off.
That's your second one. Boom.
That's it. Yeah. I'll be going for the full change if I have a third one. Going for the scoop.
There we are. So is it very clever marketing by Budweiser? Could be.
Blind stupidity, and all the rednecks have stopped. All the rednecks have stopped drinking it now.
Well,
all those people out of Deliverance have all stopped drinking it.
I propose we review this in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, maybe, and see what happened.
Things are at.
So tell us, America, what's your state? Have you given up Bud? We want to know. We want to know if you've dropped your Budweiser in favour of something, in favour of something more sparkly, a sparkly cocktail.
And if you have, please ship it over to me, because I will get rid of the devil's brew for you.
Steve will take it. He'll take one for the boys and the girls. Bless him. Anyway, should we leave that there?
I think we ought to. We've prodded the hornet's nest enough, I think.
We've done enough prodding today.
We certainly have. Blowing, prodding, and whatever else we've been doing.
Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, please subscribe. And what else has got to do, Steve?
Really, really important. Put that bottle of Budweiser or whatever it is down and get pressing the old bell end.
Yeah, you do that. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.
Cheers, everybody. Bye.